into Duval County, but realize St. Johns County, it's got a little panhandle almost, so to speak, right? That extends northward almost to the beach, Jacksonville Beach. So there's Ponte Vedra, for example. There's Palm Valley. This is the circulation right there, and it is rather strong. It's one of the stronger ones we've seen in a while. It is racing to the north-northeast at about 50 miles per hour. Now, we're supposed to be on Action News Jax beginning at 4 p.m. We'll now continue with nonstop coverage of this potential tornado until the danger has ended. It's either moved offshore or the circulation has weakened and the tornado warning has been canceled. This tornado is headed to the Mayo Clinic area and nearby neighborhoods at 4:03. That's a very populated area. Jax Beach at 4:06, and we should have the Jax Beach First Alert Skycam network ready to go. St. Johns River Hospital neighborhood at 4:06, and Atlantic Beach at 4:10. That's when the circulation moves in. At the very least, you're likely going to experience 50 to 60 mile per hour winds, perhaps damaging winds, and now a possible tornado. So you need to just go up just slightly higher above that banner there, Corey. There you go. It's the southern end of this cell that is rotating. That's where the possible tornado is. We're on street level mapping now. Here's Butler Boulevard. Here's Beach Boulevard. These are all areas that are susceptible to this tornadic storm now. This stays east of Kernan Boulevard and looks like it stays slightly inland of the beaches, but it's darn close. So here from southeast Duval, northern St. Johns into eastern Duval County, that's where the tornado is likely to track if it's on the ground. Or at the moment, it is radar indicated, but we're seeing a pretty strong hint of it on our velocities here on First Alert Doppler HD, and that's what's triggered the tornado warning. We're likely, although I don't have confirmation of it, I'm pretty sure we're simulcasting on WOKV radio right now as well. So if you're listening on the radio, we want you to not travel along Butler Boulevard or Beach Boulevard or Atlantic Boulevard over just the next 5 to 8 minutes. This is moving quickly. It won't be around for long. Racing to the north-northeast at 50 miles per hour. San Pablo Road comes into view. There's Hodges. This will be very close to Hodges. You'll get a very heavy downpour. There will be very little other evidence of a tornado until the tornado is literally on top of you and doing damage. That's how tropical tornadoes behave. So Corey's now taking us right in with the wind again here, the velocities, and that's the couplet, or the circulation, in other words. It's rotating like this. Many times in classic severe thunderstorms, and like when we had the tornado a few weeks ago on Beach Boulevard, you see a red and green right next to each other, pretty tight, and it's pretty obvious. That doesn't very often happen with tropical tornadoes, and that's the case here. You have a brighter color here against a darker shading here. That's the circulation of what appears to be a tornado, and it's moving to the north-northeast at about 45 to up 50 miles per hour now. Corey is taking it back to when the tornado warning was issued, and that would have been very near Phillips Highway when the tornado warning was issued. And look how quickly that has moved to the north-northeast. So let's go ahead and go to live now radar and go ahead and track it again, Corey. Moving north-northeast at about 50. A downpour of rain is being experienced here along Hodges Boulevard, Beach Boulevard, Atlantic Boulevard, and JTB. And then the tornado would be couched in the back corner of this cell. Remember, in Florida, of course, we don't have any basements. Lowest floor of the building that you are in. Protect your head and face, away from any windows. Do not get into an automobile, and get out of mobile homes. There's Mayo Clinic popping up again. 4:04 is when that circulation will be near you. That's now in a little more than 3 minutes. Jax Beach 3 minutes later, or 6 minutes from right now. Jacksonville Beach Elementary School neighborhood, same time at 4:07. St. Johns River Hospital neighborhood at 4:07, and Atlantic Beach at 4:10. Corey?
Yeah, Mike. So one of the things I want to talk about here is what to do if you are under a tornado warning, if a tornado is approaching you. We have a lot of people moving to Florida. Maybe you have never experienced a tornado before. You want to be inside a sturdy building. Mobile homes are not going to cut it when it comes to tornadoes. It's good to maybe make a plan like that ahead of time, a place where you could go and seek safer shelter. You want to put as many walls in between you and the outside of this structure, hopefully your home, as possible, and you want to be away from windows. You want to get as far inside as you can. Sometimes you can't really do that, but if you have more walls around you, like in a closet or a stairwell or a water closet, those are really good places to be. You got to take blankets and pillows with you. It's not a bad idea, something to shield you from potential flying debris. I do want to go back to live radar here quickly, though, because the cell, this little cell itself, it's just rain. It doesn't have any lightning with it. It looks like it has weakened fairly significantly, at least in terms of the rain. There's still a very broad circulation here, basically moving over Butler Boulevard right now west of San Pablo. So San Pablo is that line right there, and then Hodges is this line right here. So this is moving in between Hodges and San Pablo, crossing Butler Boulevard. It's probably past Butler Boulevard by this moment as we are talking, as the clock has turned into 4:03. So it is heading up toward San Pablo, north of JTB and south of Beach Boulevard. I want to go down even further to street level mapping, Mike, and we'll talk about some of these neighborhoods.
Sounds good. And we also have, I've put First Alert Storm Analyst in a position where that's got a pretty good view, so we'll take a look at that. And we also have Jax Beach First Alert Skycam Network. But let's look at this, as you mentioned, zooming down on street level. The circulation moving right up toward the Mayo Clinic about right now. So if you hear your street, see your street, you need to be in a safe place right now. San Pablo Parkway, there's Hodges Boulevard. It's probably a little bit east of Hodges, I would say. Of course, darn close, though, right? And then coming up across Beach Boulevard here as it gets a little bit northeast of the Mayo Clinic, Highway 90 and Beach Boulevard, of course, one in the same thing. And then it would continue northeast here. 2nd Avenue North comes into view. There's
Penman Road.
Go ahead, Corey.
Penman Road.
Penman, good point. Penman Road there in Jax Beach. 10th Street, and then you're really to the beaches here. There's A1A, and then you're to the coast and the intracoastal. The circulation that triggered the tornado warning has indeed weakened. I think you're right on that, Corey, no doubt. Still some heavy rain. It doesn't mean there's not necessarily a tornado, but the circulation does not look as impressive to us. I took a look at the debris tracker while you were talking there, Corey. Couldn't really pick up anything debris-wise. There was on the rotational velocities, however, an indication of this possible tornado as it's crossing, as you mentioned now, has likely crossed Butler Boulevard and is just about ready to move right over Jax or Beach Boulevard. Let's take a look at First Alert Skycam Network if we can. There we go. Nicely done. Jax Beach, this is looking toward the south, so we're looking straight down the beach, and this is the incoming storm. If there's a tornado, it's kind of behind me, actually. It would be located back in here. Difficult to see with tropical systems. A tornado will come in. It will be wrapped in rain, what we call it. In other words, it's raining a lot. It's not easy to see. It'll be easier to hear than anything else, or you may see power lines flashing. And in tropical tornadoes, you also don't get the hail that you see in a big afternoon storm that might produce tornadoes. So we'll watch this camera carefully. Visibility is not real good, as is typical tropical systems. There's a lot of rain. There's a lot of low-level cloud cover in here as well. And now we're going to switch gears to the rainfall here on First Alert Doppler HD. This is the rain now. And indeed, that cell, while still heavy, does not overall look as intense, Corey.
Yeah, Mike, a lot of the rain is gone. You have to have some sort of particles, whether that's rain or cloud, to actually have a tornado actually touch the ground. So the rain itself has kind of been shrinking down within this tornado warning north of Butler Boulevard. By this point, the circulation, or if there is a tornado, it is approaching Beach Boulevard now. Very near San Pablo. I'm going to switch back to the wind or the velocities, and it's still not as bright or intense as it was even just about 5 to 7 minutes ago. The tornado warning does continue. I'm waiting for additional information from the National Weather Service on that. But as for now, Mike, this does look fairly weak.
Yeah.
We still got to track it, though. Keep an eye on it.
Yeah, I suspect they're going to let this. They'll certainly, I suspect this is expired at the very least at 4:15 and maybe discontinued even earlier than that. But realize tropical tornadoes can spin up very quickly, so this could try to reorganize or re-strengthen, and we still want you to have a heads up from Jax Beach and along Beach Boulevard, extending northward to Atlantic Beach and Atlantic Boulevard, and actually does even include Mayport, where there is a really heavy cell there. I haven't noticed any circulation with that particular cell at the moment, and there you go. There's the velocities, and it doesn't seem to indicate circulation. There still is a gradient here, Corey, with that cell that triggered the tornado warning along Beach Boulevard and Atlantic Boulevard, but it looks like a wind signature, doesn't it? Like a straight line wind signature almost, where you'd get a burst of winds that may cause some damage, 50 to 60 miles per hour, but it looks more like that to me than anything else now.
And even comparing it to what triggered the warning.
Exactly. So good call. Good point.
Back to right there. Okay, they expired the tornado warning from the National Weather Service.
Okay, good. No surprise. Nicely done, Corey. And so now we'll go to regular programming, which means we start Action News Jax on Fox 30 at the news desk. But before we do that, just real quickly, the tornado warning that was in effect for eastern Duval, northern St. Johns County, now discontinued as the cell has rapidly weakened. Folks, we got a lot of rain on the way for some areas, yet some neighborhoods. Corey and I will detail that in your First Alert forecast beginning in just minutes. But till then, we go to the news desk with Ben and Tanika.
All right. Mike, Corey, thank you so much. This is Action News Jax at 4, and 4 says the chief, and Corey just told us You in Duval and St. Johns County, right now you're out of that tornado warning, but stay alert as Debbie continues to move through our area.
Yeah, things seem to have calmed down, but not really. A lot of moving parts to this storm still. We have a team of reporters out across multiple local counties, all across our viewing area in Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia, covering